Everyone, if I could have your attention just a minute.
Well, I have a question and a concern, and I thought we were going to have a question and answer, and I certainly wouldn't have to stand in front of the group, but I'll leave my question to last. My name is Joyce Phillips, and I live in Mardela. I'm a registered Democrat. We'll get this, you don't have to guess. I'm 62 years old. I voted in every election, and I've never voted straight party. And the reason I don't is because I surely don't think the Democrats have all the right answers, and I surely don't think the Republicans have all the right answers. But together, I think we could do a better job. Every month, I read the county council minutes. It's important to me. I can't go to the meetings, but I like to know how the people that represent me think and vote. And most of the time, I'm disappointed because it's down party lines. And I think we are coming to a place in our town, in our state, in our county, in our country, when we've got to soften that and not go into issues with ideas that are so set in stone, or you're so committed to a particular group that you have to vote a certain way. So my reason in coming today mainly was to hear our at-large county council members' opinions. The issue that concerns me is farmland preservation. My father is Luther Houston. My son is Gino Lowe. My dad quit school. I wouldn't say this at a public hearing like we've had, but I feel real comfortable since I'm in Sharptown. My dad quit school when he was finishing the 9th grade because he had to work on the farm and he had to help his family make a living. And then he got enough money and he bought his own farm. He didn't have any sons, he had 2 daughters. And we milked cows every day before we went to school, and we were the tractor drivers. So we have gone from a family, and we're not special or we're not unique, but we've gone from a family who had a dad with a 9th grade education to 6 people in my immediate family who have 4-year degrees in agriculture, 2 with masters. One that has taught agriculture in Kent County. My sister and her family has the largest dairy herd in the state of Maryland. They milk 650 cows 3 times a day. We are the people who want to get on the tractors and we want to go to work in the dairy barns. I don't think that that necessarily gives us the right to make a decision. And we certainly cannot provide enough food for everybody. But we feel strongly that my dad had a vision and somehow he passed it down to us and somehow we passed it down to our children. The preserving farmland is vital to this county. Matt, Mr. Rand, your great-grandfather and my grandparents, they didn't know about 401Bs and they didn't know about mass land development. And so surely a lot has changed. And for everybody, including every council member who has a difference of opinion than me, I understand your opinion. But I don't think because you live on a farm, I don't think because you live on the water, it makes you a waterman. And I don't think because you're a realtor who owns farmland and rents it out that you're a farmer. So I guess I feel in the bottom line, when you go to these meetings and you listen to our county council people at large, if you don't get so entrenched in one idea, in one party, in one line of thinking, that you don't allow yourself to open up, to listen to other experts, and to have the vision, like I'm fortunate enough to have passed down to me, and I don't have to wonder about our 1,200 acres or whatever, or the other 3,000 that my sister owns or whatever. We know our farmland's going to be held for people, but we have a vision to keep Wycomico County as the #1 leading agricultural county in the state of Maryland. In October of 2009, the state of Maryland stopped providing for Wycomico County the land preservation money. First time in the history of the state, and I don't blame them. We're not doing enough. They had warned us, they had told us we're not doing enough. So to the county council people at large, I know all the councilmen's views, I've heard them speak repeatedly, but for the people at large, I want to hear from you today. Are you so entrenched in the thought that you're going into, or do you have an open enough mind to work with and come to a solution that will ensure agricultural preservation of land in Wycomico County? At large.
I'd like to say that my life is pretty much all about compromise. I'm a Republican married to a Democrat. I drive a Prius and an F-250 diesel, and I'm a farmer, and I'm on the Chesapeake Bay Critter Berries Commission. So I see both sides of every issue. Being a farmer and a landowner and a small business owner, I own my own sod farm. The thing that worries me the most about downzoning or changing the zoning is the loss of value of my land. I run my farm based off of the value of my largest asset, which is my land. And the bank sees that asset as its most value in its best use, which is development. Now, as a farmer and a Wycomico County citizen, the last thing I want to see is development on my land. All the land that we own is currently in the docket for land preservation, every acre of it. And we're hoping that the county and the state can get the money to purchase the development rights off of our land. But it seems to me, if it's downzoned, the value's decreased, we won't get a fair value for our land when we sell development rights. So I believe that we can come to a compromise on all sides of this issue. We can find a fair compromise. I know that my father is very firm in his beliefs on how this should go, but you know, like I say, my life is all about compromise, and I feel like I listen to all sides of the issues before I make a decision. So that's how I see it. Thank you.
As far as downzoning, I'm not for that, but I believe I think about it in a little different aspects. Private property, whether it's farms or suburban areas, are very important. That's actually the basis for our freedom and liberty, because that's what we spend most of our time collecting, gathering, paying for. That's where most of our money goes into. And as far as that, I believe our time is our liberty. So that's extremely important, not just in our county, but in our state and our country. As far as compromise and walking across the aisle, I believe in principle over party. The answers aren't going to come from the county council members per se. It's going to come from the people. So if we're elected, our sole duty and responsibility is to represent the people, their ideas, and what they want. That's what they elect us for. They don't exactly elect us for us to push our ideas on everybody else and make them think they're worthless. Our job is to listen to the people and do what they want. Otherwise, they can elect us out after 4 years.
Rather than sound like Donald Duck, I'll just talk to you. I'm Bob Culver. Part of that may be aimed towards me, Joyce. Let me tell you where I'm coming from. I grew up on a farm. We tended about 1,500 acres. Some of it ground was rented, some of it was owned. We owned about 1,000 of it. I got into building, got into real estate. When you said realtor and farmer, it doesn't make you a farmer. I believe Salisbury, Wycomico County, and their surrounding areas have got to be developed to a certain extent to grow. We need to grow. But I believe in the metro core. When you start talking about saving farmland, that's the first thing I'd like to do. And to let you know, whether you do know or not, my farmland is put into farm preservation. We're trying to tie into Matt's farm and make it almost a 2,000 acre block there. So we've got our farm, the Culver farm, we've got the Holloway farm there. So I hope to go ahead and get more land put into farm preservation, but we've got to fund that too. I'm not going to be in favor of just downzoning so that we can go ahead and just take that. that needs to be paid for, because whether it's Matt Holloway's, Bob Culver's land, Rudy Kane's land, doesn't matter. We need to pay for those rights to be able to not develop it, and it needs to be protected. I'm over top of Paleo Channel. One of my greatest reasons for protecting that land was because of Paleo Channel. It's the largest underground river on the East Coast, and we need to protect it for our benefit as well as everybody else in the whole eastern seaboard. So, but Salisbury, Wycomico County, Sharptown, we do need to have our areas where we concentrate on our growth because it needs to grow. We did have a farm on Pemberton Drive. Let's be honest, Pemberton Drive has grown up so much in the last 20 years that going over to 10, 60 acres or 70 acres was not nearly as feasible as to put it into townhouses and go ahead and keep it inside the metro core. So that's why that farm got developed that way. Half of our farm, when my father passed away, was owned by my uncle and Bruce, and they farmed it until he had a heart attack, and now Matt actually farms the other part of the farm. That's a different situation where they've got to sell their land because there's 3 kids involved. So we can't tell everybody what to do with it. You know, I'd like to see it all put in farm preservation, but it's not up to me to say, Bruce, you've got to do this with it, because Matt and I have decided to go this way with it. So each case is individually different, and we need to go ahead and protect that right. You asked a question about whether or not we're going to straight down party lines and all that. You've known me long enough to know that I haven't rolled over since my mother changed my diaper to anybody. And I don't plan on rolling over to, be it Stevie, be it Gail Barkovich, anybody else that's on the council. I hope to discuss it intelligently and adultly and vote my opinion. But I certainly want to know everybody else's opinion. I believe in the diversity of the county council. I believe in the diversity of our county. So I want to see those people put into the government. So, but at the same time, party lines don't, I think, like a Republican, basically. That's why I registered as a Republican. But to say that I'm going to roll over and vote just because of party lines, that hasn't happened in a long time. So I hope that answers your question.
Bob, I want to tell you, I said, you were not the realtor in mind.
Oh, okay.
Actually,
I'm a little disappointed.
the realtor in mind was the one when I went to the last public hearing and I parked my modest vehicle, and he comes in with his high-dollar vehicle with the top down. We walked to the desk together, and you signed up whether your opinion was this way or this way, because when they called on you, they went back and forth between the list. And as I signed my name on the list opposite from his, he said to me, "And when was the last time you climbed on a tractor?" And if he hadn't taken my breath away by being so abrupt, I would have gladly told him. That was the realtor. It was it wasn't you.
Yeah, to me now, personally, that's the greatest form of relaxation. I've got to go out and put somebody else on their track. So I enjoy that. So, all right, well,